Villager's Diary. The bell rang today. It has been so long since I last heard its sound. The ringing is the call of our Lord. The whole village congregated at the church to listen. He was as kind as ever. We are growing closer and our minds are becoming one. He even said that the miracles we create here shall soon grace the entire world. What wisdom, what compassion! Through our Lord's benevolence we shall receive the medicine to cure the madness. I cannot wait until the bell tolls again. Clemente's appeal. Master, if you pay it some thought, it is unusual that Isidro let me go. Ever since that beast in the black robe struck me with something, I have been feeling strange. I have started seeing things, having visions. The sky itself looks like that of another world. And then that thing comes. Only now there are many, hundreds. Master, I beg you, please, is there a way to escape this horror? Sell for awaiting judgment. Brothers and sisters, our Lord is displeased. Do not recklessly slay outsiders at will. All people have a right to fair judgment. Henceforth we shall deliver solemn justice without prejudice. Take anyone you capture to the factory basement. Do the same with traitors. Scrawled Orders. The outsider is in the villa. Assemble the village. Awaken our great child. Suppressant Ingredients. We need these. 1. Red ink, bindery. 2. Gold bottle, treasure room. 3. Blue butterfly, collection room. The minerals in the ink, the yeast in the bottle, and the substance in the scales of the butterfly wings. Each of these has special properties we require to make the suppressant. If I extract the ingredients and mix them with the chemicals I have on hand, that should do it. The Amber Research Report Number 1. Our experiments are still ongoing, but I can already see that this test subject has great potential. To summarize our findings so far. 1. Even in the state of suspended animation, it holds influence over other parasites. 2. It seems to possess the same organ as the dominant species and likely has the same level of control. 3. We still have no method to awaken it. Furthermore, after a deadly incident, we have decided to take extra precautions and seal the amber in a protective case. This is also why I plan to move the Amber Research Lab to the new comms facility. I guess this is where I say adios to Don Quixote. It was Luis who discovered these things, but Salazar does not trust him. I just hope he keeps his mouth shut. Annabel Garcia, Esquerdo, head researcher. Preparator's notes. The collection master is a tacky and lousy boss. He leaves all the dissections for me to do. Even if he does bother to come here, all he does is gawp at his 3 favorite specimens, in a particular order before leaving. There's nothing special about them anyway. Why only look at those 3 specimens when we have the prized butterfly to admire? A good researcher would know such things. Isidro's note. April, 9 years since my awakening. I have received a written petition from Mendez. He wants to forgive the servant who foolishly ran away. He does not understand. It is not a matter of forgiveness or unforgiveness. Only my noble pursuits matters, for which countless sacrifices are required. An honor for all who dwell in the land of our master. Besides, it would be impossible to remove it from his body now. She implants her prey with a part of herself, manipulating their consciousness and trapping them in a walking nightmare. They are bent to her will, no matter how far they try to flee. The only way to truly escape the torment is to kill her, so the entity within her prey dies too. It is, after all, made up of specialized cells which cannot survive on their own. Yet none are strong enough to put my hound, my placenta, down. Chronicles of Pursuit, torn. December, 8 years since my awakening. I am at a loss in my endeavors to combine man with insect. Their fusion is not coming to fruition, and my patience wears thin. The housekeeper has long suffered, and I confess my hair stands on the end when I hear her screams of anguish. Will I ever achieve perfection? I have two choices. The first is to continue with my current method, to change nothing but instead widen my search for compatible insect components. The second is more callous, more immoral, adding yet another completely different organism. If done poorly, the latter choice will likely lead to failure, but I feel I shall not break this deadlock if I do not adjust my current methods. The housekeeper will break if things continue on as they are now. I must decide what to do now. His humble servant, Isidro Urarti Talavera. Luis, note. Ada, I hope it's you reading this. I'm going to the mine tunnels to try and regroup with Leon. I overheard Ramon on the castle intercom saying that Leon's heading that way, and right into trouble. You can get there through the Waterway. It's dangerous, but I'll leave some signs to point you in the right direction. Salazar Family Chronology, Waterway. For many years, the existence of the waterway beneath the castle was forgotten. According to our records, it was built on the third-gen Count Gregorio the Architect. The reason for its construction is unclear, but it may have been done to contain the deadly insects that plagued his predecessor, Count Hippolito. Water is, after all, a symbol of purity for the Salazar family. Gregorio's waterway was rediscovered during the excavation of an underground tunnel under the orders of the 8th General Count Ramon. The elaborate, beautiful architecture is just one example of Gregorio's iconic work. He redirected the river to flow underground, creating both a waterworks and sewage system. It could even be used as a water storage facility during times of drought. The construction can only be described as a magnificent feat of architecture for the time, but its beauty is wasted on our ruling simpleton. The only interest he showed in the place was using it as a tool to drown those who dare oppose him. Insolence! Gregorio must be turning in his grave. Copy of Irradiation reports. The results of redacted physical examination showed that his body had become infested with a plaga, likely during one of his experiments with it. Under the supervision of lead researcher Luis Serra, an attempt was made to purge the parasite using a form of experimental radiation therapy. 60 minutes into the procedure, redacted, showed signs of severe shock and we were forced to stop. Soon after, he was pronounced dead. The device uses external beam radiation to burn the parasite from outside the body, similar to a linear accelerator used in treating cancer. The pain is tremendous and it could also prove fatal. The post-mortem autopsy has confirmed that the parasite was successfully destroyed. However, in lieu of these results, we have determined that the device requires further work and should not progress beyond the stage of trial operation. Attached is the Irradiation device manual for reference. Researchers' scrawled notes. Okay, can't rush. Gotta get the facts down. First, the test subjects are loose in the facility. Second, the only way out is shut. The high voltage power unit is missing, and the exit won't open without one. The freezer! There's a power unit in there! It's an emergency power supply for when one of the test subjects escapes. It should do the job. Problem is, how do I get there with those things running wild? Need to think. Can't give up. Got a family. I can make it. I can do this. I have to. For them. Subject analysis. Regenerador. Date April 9th. At last I've created new life. I call it Regenerador. Its metabolic capacity is incredible. Unless all the parasites residing within the organism are destroyed, its tissue can regenerate indefinitely. Date April 10th. Upon examining the new body with the biosensor scope, I was able to confirm that the parasites behave like vital organs for the host, almost as though it has multiple hearts. This new creation of mine is essentially immortal. Surely even Dr. Frankenstein himself would want to shake my hand in admiration. Date, April 13th. I shared the news of my achievement with that pretentious bastard colleague of mine. His face went white. Then he started scribbling something in his notebook. I thought he'd be impressed, but instead he'd actually had the nerve to warn me of the so-called dangers. He's a fool. I have everything under control. Date, unknown. The subject went wild and escaped from its cryogenic tank. I was the real fool. Antenna array construction reports. The installation of the highly sensitive antenna array on the island is finally complete. With it, the activities of hostile organizations, including those of U.S. intelligence services, can be accurately intercepted and monitored. Now we can hear all. First, we will use this to gather intel and plan for the day of the kidnapping. It will certainly ensure our success. We will show the entire world how that country's security is all bark and no bite. Jack Krauser. The Amber. Research Report number 12. Our research into the Amber continues on the island. We're beginning to get a clearer picture, but there is still much we do not know. The Amber is proving its usefulness. Although it's still dormant, it has great influence over other parasites and even strengthens them. I'm convinced that this optimizes the relationship between the parasite and host. In our experiments, we are able to recreate this for one of our test subjects. This is a great achievement. Next, I want to test its influence over the superior species of Plaga. However, only those at the top of Los Illuminados are hosts to this particular type of parasites, and they would never agree to participate in any experiments. I need to plan carefully if I wish to find any volunteers. Annabel Garcia Escudero, Head Researcher. Subject Analysis, Martinico. The effects of the Amber are greater than anything I could have imagined. Martinico was once a fragile, uncontrollable test subject that was despised for being born deformed. But after numerous experiments, it gained tremendous resilience and regenerating abilities. And now it is impervious to conventional weapons. Now for the bad news. It may be stronger, but its mental capacity has not improved at all. In an unlikely event that it breaks free, there is little we can do to contain it again. Only the powerful lasers can stop it for good. The Amber. Research Report number 14. My findings show the Amber has the ability to invigorate even the superior species of Plaga. It was wise to choose Krauser as the guinea pig. The others were too suspicious, but Krauser's insolent lust for power was more than enough to convince him to take part in my experiments. The results have been excellent. The growth of the superior species can now easily surpass that of regular parasites. He is without a doubt one of the most powerful people I have ever seen. The only thing we have to fear now is the power sleeping within the Amber. How can I prepare? What should I do if it is awakened? It does not matter. Writing these reports no longer has any meaning. Sadler came to me. The ampule he handed over is still in front of me. I know too much. I realize that what will happen if I inject myself with it? Will he kill me if I defy him? Or should I place the gun on my own head and pull the trigger? It is going to be a long night. Last line of defenses. Leon still hasn't been dealt with. I have set up camp beside the ruins so I can lure him in to finish things once and for all. Security at the loading docks has also been put on high alert in case he bypasses the area, and a rocket launcher team has been deployed. The custom red warheads are also on standby. But the rookie isn't the only reason I'm improving our defensive capabilities. Some group is drawing closer the island to steal the holy body, and I'm pretty sure I know who. Without these warheads, I'm going to have a hard time getting rid of these intruders. Then again, even with them. Thank you for purchasing our warheads. Thank you for your order, Major Krauser. We are humbled you chose to do business with us, and it is an honor to supply you with our arms. To briefly explain their features, the warheads you requested are hardened to pierce heavily armored targets. They are painted red to make them easier to identify among similar munitions. Not only can they penetrate tank armor and pillboxes, but the explosively formed Penetrator jet can even perforate a battleship's thick hull. They are somewhat overpowered, so it is fair to say that there is not a single combat vehicle that can withstand these warheads. We are in no position to ask how you will use these weapons, and it is none of our business, but there is no target that would require the immense destructive powers that they possess. Please use with caution. Newman Arms Corp.